No problem. All right. Screen share. Participants can share at a time, multiple. Screen share coming?
Come. I was going to say.
Listen, okay. All right. Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to Azure and Azure. Sorry, can you hear me?
No, sir, I cannot able to see the screen.
Okay, I think I'm trying to share. When I share, it is showing that one participant can share at a time and multiple participants can share it at simultaneously. Means
Go for one
I
participant.
can share. Oh, okay. Screen sharing entire screen.
Now, yes.
Hope
now
it is visible now.
Yes.
It's visible. Okay, perfect. I minimize all these small windows. Okay, it's perfect. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, welcome to Azure DevOps course. So if you can see my screen, this is the Azure DevOps course content. The course overview mainly talks about Azure DevOps. This course is mainly for Azure DevOps, but it also covers the introduction to Azure. Within the Azure, we are going to cover Azure storage and some hands-on with Azure resource group, how to create resource group and all those things. And also we are going to discuss about Azure virtual machines with demos, hands-on experience with Azure virtual machines. And this is most critical service of IaaS. Okay, we also talk about what is IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. Mostly we deal with IaaS and PaaS 99% of the time, but SaaS is something which we don't really use in real time, but I will also just give an example of SaaS. Okay, so if you can able to understand what is IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, that's it. So we can understand any cloud. That is a major thing in any cloud. If you go to Azure or AWS or even GCP, so these three things are very essential to understand the cloud deployment models. Right. So then after that, we are going to cover Azure app and container services. Right. This is again PaaS service. The earlier VM is comes under IaaS, but app service comes under PaaS. So we will clearly understand why we customer need to go for PaaS. Why should customer go to IaaS? So we will clearly discuss about with examples and demos. And the next comes the Azure networking. This is also one critical piece which comes under IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So we'll talk about virtual networks, all the VNet components, what is public IP and private IP, subnet, NIC, network security group. This is something firewall, right? And the DNS, domain name system. And of course, with the hands-on experience of all those topics or services which we are going to cover with real-time use cases, not just only simple demos, but I'll try to cover with some real-time use cases, which we do on day-to-day basis. And then next comes Azure networking. The second chapter in Azure networking covers your application gateway, traffic manager, load balancers. All this comes under PaaS, I can say. So we are going to cover those. And then Active Directory, which is also essential for user management, IAM. Okay, that's called IAM. In any cloud, if you go, even if you go to AWS or GCP, IAM is something, identity and access management. In Azure world, it is called Azure Active Directory. And hands-on with Active Directory. Monitoring, we are going to cover the monitoring and infrastructure setup AKS. So we are going to set up AKS also, that is Azure Kubernetes service. And this the beauty of this course is it is going to cover Azure, Azure DevOps and Terraform, Docker, and as well as the Terraform also it's going to cover Docker, Kubernetes. That is the main thing. And yeah, so when it comes to the DevOps, we'll talk about the basics of DevOps, what is DevOps and all those DevOps tools and project management. That is called ALM nowadays. In if you go to any CI/CD tool, also ALM is something which is also very essential to understand. ALM covers right from requirements till the application deployment and monitoring and everything, testing, everything it covers, including your Agile, Scrum, whatnot. It all covers all the project management stuff. And test management, as I said, it also covers the test management, testing, automation, I can say. And version control, obviously we need to understand how the source code is maintained by developers, and what is Git. We also understand the basics of version control, why the version control is needed, and we also understand Git lifecycle, what are the Git commands, basic commands which we are going to use. And it also covers the Docker, as I said, introduction to Docker, and as well as Docker Hub, how we can create the image, how can we build image, how can we push image to Docker Hub or other registries. Yeah, and hands-on with all those Docker topics. And also we are going to cover Azure DevOps and Azure Repos. So in Azure Repos, yes, as I said, it's a source control tool, like similar to GitHub, but it's an Azure implementation of Git. And also we are going to cover Azure Pipelines. So this comes under CI/CD. We'll start from here actually. And boards is something to just, for Agile. And AKS, yeah, AKS also we are going to cover here. So we are going to provision the AKS cluster. And then before that, we need to understand Docker, basics of Docker, how the Docker container works. Then the AKS makes more sense at that point of time. So we are going to deploy pods, all those things in AKS cluster, and Terraform with Azure IAC. See, as I said, yeah, infrastructure deployment always goes with IAC, infrastructure as a code, right? So, I mean, in real world, it's not necessary to just go and deploy the resource from the portal. It's not at all recommended. It is just only for POC and testing purposes. Otherwise, all the resources will be deployed using either Terraform or ARM templates. So since in this course we are going to cover only Terraform. So I'll go with the basics of Terraform and this the HCL HashiCorp language we are going to use in the Terraform. So we'll deploy some Azure resources using Terraform, right? So the prerequisites for this course, to make it more sense, that you are aware of some or other cloud or some knowledge of Azure or version control or Agile, that will give you more it gives you more better manner to understand. And we also try to give you tips and uh, some guidance on clearing any of your certifications. That part I can also give you some guidance how easily we can crack any Azure certification of your choice. Right. So like if you talk about AZ400, AZ400 doesn't come easily, because we need to pass either AZ204 or 104. That is a prereq. Once we pass the AZ104 or 204, then only if you take AZ400, then only we'll get the actual certification. Otherwise, we'll just give the exam pass certificate if you directly take AZ400 alone. So yeah, we are going to cover the certification aspects as well. Right. And yeah, since it's an online, and yeah, you will get the notes in the form of OneNote. What I will do after each and every class, I can share you the OneNote so that you can access OneNote from your mobile or your PC or anywhere. You can go through the material. And then for the hands-on, yes, I will try to give the exercises or tasks or real-time use cases on day-to-day basis. And whenever you have any issue, or you're facing any issue or challenge while practicing, yes, you can reach out to me. Not all the day, but I will give you a particular slot so that you can connect with me in case if you have any issues. We'll try to resolve. Right, or else we can also try to resolve your issues in the class. Just 5 minutes, first 5 minutes we'll spend on that, and then we'll proceed with the course contents. Yes, yeah. Yes, in Azure basics, yes, we are going to cover, what is cloud computing, what are the cloud benefits, and as I said, cloud deployment model. As I said, what is IaaS, what is PaaS, what is software as a service, why customers are moving from on-premise to cloud. It may be Azure or it may be AWS. The beauty of the cloud is once you understand one cloud platform like Azure, then you can easily understand AWS or GCP. We need not learn every cloud platform. See, the cloud platform list is growing. It is not. It's not ending with only Azure, AWS, and GCP. Now we have IBM Cloud. We have now Alibaba. We have Oracle Cloud. There are many, but they are not as popular as these three, since we only talk only these three cloud platforms all the time. But once you understand these three core concepts, what is infrastructure as a service, what is platform as a service, what is software as a service, and then you are done. Your cloud knowledge will be enough for to crack any interview. That's it. Then it's rest is simple practice. Okay, so if you take IaaS, okay, if you understand the VM, before understanding VM, if you understand the network concepts, then it makes more sense, right? Then we can say that I know that what comes under IaaS, and I can easily distinguish, I can easily explain when someone asks me, right? So that's a thing we will try to make it very clear as much as we can to make you understand these cloud models, which is very, very essential. As I said, it is not only particular to Azure, but it is for every cloud platform we have in the market today. So we'll go with some real-time examples, definitely for sure. This is just an idea. I prepared some notes for previous batches, but I will try to elaborate as much as I can. And also I will help you in setting up your Azure subscriptions, even Azure DevOps subscription, all those things. Right. So yeah, we'll understand what is RBAC, what is the resource group, how the AZ commands works. All those things we are going to cover in this particular course. I know this course is not just only for Azure, it is covers Azure DevOps, Azure Kubernetes, Docker, and Terraform, AKS, that is a Kubernetes. That is the AKS is the Microsoft or Azure version of Kubernetes. If you go to other cloud, there will be other Kubernetes flavor, but we are talking about, and this is the skill set. If you can able to understand clearly, then you can crack any interview. And this is the very, very hard skill set, and you can easily demand. I don't know what experience level you are in, but you can easily demand more than 20 lakhs package if you can able to make use of this particular course in a right manner. If you can practice enough with most of the use cases which customers are demanding on day-to-day our real-time work, then it's easy to crack. So understanding the concepts is very essential, and implementing with the right examples or right use cases makes more easy to crack any exam. So that's what I can give you an assurance. And this is the very rich course content. It is, if you go to any other online training, then they will just either cover only Azure or only Azure DevOps, or they may mix both. But no, if not with Kubernetes, Docker, and Terraform, I can definitely say that. Right, and so we will also cover Azure DevOps, as I said. So Azure DevOps, we are going to, I will help you in setting up Azure DevOps right from the beginning, how we can subscribe, how we can create free licenses, how we can use free licenses, and how can we create organization, under organization, how can we create projects, and user management in Azure DevOps. Right, the user management in Azure and Azure DevOps is a little bit different, and we need to understand these concepts very clearly. The user management side, and then once you go to any project, we will can see that and left hand side you will see that boards is for project management, as I said earlier, and repos is for source code, and pipelines, yes, for CI/CD purposes. And test plans. Test plans mean nothing but the test automation. Artifacts is nothing but you are managing your the application output or the what you call output basically. Suppose if you build a Java application, then what is the output to look like? It can be jar or war file. If you build a .NET application, what mostly will get .dlls or .aspx files or other contents. So we need to manage all these artifacts in artifacts. There are lot of third party artifacts tools are available in DevOps toolchain, but in this particular course we are stick to the native artifacts a tool which comes under Azure DevOps. Right. The beauty of Azure DevOps is all this tool chain comes under in one umbrella. But if you talk about Jenkins, there are a lot of other tools available, right? So they don't cover all this tool chain in one single pane, right? So if you go to Jenkins, they don't cover boards at all. They don't cover repos. So you need to depend on other GitHub or some other, and only it provides the pipelines, right? But when it comes to the Azure DevOps, yes, it covers everything, right from project management, requirement gathering, till the application deployment, testing, and everything. Monitoring also it should cover. Yes, that's the beauty of Azure DevOps. So if there is a lot of demand for Azure DevOps. That's the reason. This is the primary reason. Customers or the clients going with Azure DevOps. So they need not pay a separate, money for managing their boards. Suppose if they want to manage their boards, Azure, when I say board means it's an agile board, Kanban board. People are going for Jira. Or there are many other tools. Okay, they need to pay additional licenses for each and every tool, even for maintaining repos. Yes, GitHub is a open source, but if you want to go with enterprise GitHub, yes, you need to pay a lot of money for that. Not everything comes free, for sure. And pipelines, yes, pipelines is obviously is a CI/CD, which will cover all the most of the use cases. We will go with Java, .NET, or even React. Most of the tech stack we are going to cover. End-to-end pipeline, not just only building and pushing somewhere. So we'll try to cover end-to-end pipeline with release pipeline, even deploying into multiple environment, multiple stages. It's not just only dev or test. Till dev, test, QA, pre-prod, prod, whatever general environments we talk in day-to-day in real world. So we are going to cover those aspects and test plan automation. So Azure DevOps is providing the test plans, and most of the time customer may use these test plans. Otherwise, they may integrate with other popular test automation tools like QTP. QTP is now renamed as some other tool, but there are a lot of other tools available. So it is also easy to integrate with this Azure DevOps pipeline. Even the code quality tools, static code analysis, SonarQube. SonarQube is a very popular static code analysis tool. So we'll try to cover that as well, and unit testing as well. So when you talk about pipeline, it should be end-to-end pipeline, not just building and deploying somewhere. It should cover all the major stages, right from code checkout, build, unit testing, and as well as artifact storage and test plan integration and deploying into multiple stages, and monitoring, right? It's not just only deploying somewhere and nobody will care that. So we should also monitor the application. So not only application, we should also monitor the infra, but we are going to cover the application monitoring side, both from Azure point of view. So I'll try to cover the monitoring as well. Though in the course content, it may not be mentioned, but I'll try to cover the monitoring aspects as well. Okay, we'll try to cover what is Azure Monitor, how to create the alerts. Suppose when the application went down, or when suppose let's say when the VM's memory is draining out. Let's say it reached its threshold, like 90% of the CPU or memory usages. That means it should we should get the alert. So those kind of things, monitoring side also, I will just give a glimpse, so that you will be covered with all the cloud aspects and DevOps aspects. Yes, I think I'm talking continuously. Anyone, Ganesh, is there anything Am I missing, or you want to share anything?
Nothing from my end as of now. Sidhu, do you have any
Okay.
questions?
No, nothing.
Okay. Is it clear, the course content at least?
Oh, yeah. First we
Okay.
have to do. We have to know what is Azure. After we have to let's
Yes,
know.
we'll go to Azure DevOps. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. That is correct. Once we'll cover the Azure basics and some, as I said, VM and VNet, networking, storage, right? So once we're done, means we will go to Azure DevOps, then the AK Kubernetes, Docker, those things also will cover. Yes. And at the end of the course, we will cover the Terraform, right? Importance of Terraform also, because everywhere the skill set is nowadays it's common. When if you see any job description, these are the essential skills which most of the customers or companies or organizations are looking for. They're not just looking only for particular cloud. Now they are asking for multi-cloud. But let's stick to Azure first, and then it should be more than enough to cover the most of the job descriptions what we have today in the market. Hope it makes sense, Ganesh.
Yes.
Okay. Can I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, sure. Do you have any
Okay.
other questions, Sidhu? Like the planning, the basics?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll we'll discuss again the other aspects, course duration and other aspects later.
Sure, got it.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can ask him, Sidhu. If not, like we'll wind the session.
Nothing.
Okay.
Daily tomorrow onwards is 8 p.m.
I'll check with him and I'll confirm you. Okay.
We'll check the course duration. Yes, course duration and other aspects we will try to sort it out. And also the Azure subscription is very essential, which we need before even starting up the first session. Okay, but at least from the second session onwards, we at least need the Azure subscription. I will make how to register for Azure subscription, so that they can easily. I mean, it's easy. Anybody can go ahead and subscribe. We just need only credit card. That's it. They don't charge anything unless we use the quota. They provide $200 credit or some 10K Indian rupee credit. We have to use it very wisely. Suppose if you spin up VMs, like 2 to 3 VMs, and you did not stop or terminate, then your credits will be drained out in max 3-4 days or max 1 week. So I will tell all the tricks how to make use of the subscription wisely, the free trial. Right. So most of the people lose the subscription in 1 week or within less than 1 week because they don't know how to protect their credits. Right. That's the only thing, and otherwise it should be okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Anything else we can discuss, Sidhu? Ganesh.
Nothing from my end. Let me share this video to others. Then we'll.
Okay.
Sidhu will confirm you when we can start and all the plan and everything, timings and everything. I'll discuss with you and I'll confirm.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for your time and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.